Item Number SCP-516. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-516 is to be contained in a 6 meter by 6 meter humanoid cell composed of heavy-duty steel. This cell will be contained within 3 layers of identical cells, each one composed of similar material and separated by a minimum of 3 meters of empty space. A 24/7 laser security system must be located in between each of the cells, able to locate any unauthorized movement. System maintenance checks are to be performed daily. Physical interaction is only permitted under the approval of Site Director. Any and all physical interactions are to be performed with the utmost sensitivity and care. This is to prevent potential agitation of SCP-516, which could result in a containment breach. Description: SCP-516 is a 25-year-old adult human female with shape-shifting abilities. Her unaltered form appears as a human figure with short hair and black irises, completely covered in a dark gray gelatinous substance. Testing has confirmed that the substance is pure graphite, and rather than being covered in it, SCP-516's skin has been transmuted through repeated use of SCP-516-1. SCP-516's most preferred appearance is that of an adult Caucasian female with long brown hair, fair skin, green eyes with black rectangular glasses, and an average body structure, standing at a height of 1.7 meters. She reverts to her unaltered form, seemingly not by choice, when agitated or emotionally compromised. SCP-516-1 is a No. 2 pencil, having no markings to determine brand or make and model. Despite having the standard graphite tip, SCP-516-1 is able to draw in color, presumably by SCP-516's will. When used by anyone other than SCP-516, SCP-516-1 displays no anomalous properties, functioning as a standard pencil. SCP-516-1 is unbreakable, and the tip and the eraser are reported to never get dull. SCP-516 is capable of using SCP-516-1 to illustrate different objects and pull them off the surface, giving them 3-dimensional structure and all existing properties of real-life equivalents of said object, including consciousness if applicable. Some examples include animals, people, food, beverages, weapons, tools, and clothing. She can draw these objects on any surface. SCP-516 is also capable of using SCP-516-1 to alter already existing objects and living beings, often using it to alter her own appearance. SCP-516 was discovered when reports of a, quote, young woman with the magical power to bring any drawing to life started to circulate. She was discovered to reside in and was promptly transported to her current location at site. She was reportedly cooperative, yet emotionally distressed, causing her to revert to her unaltered form during transport. Despite handcuffs no longer being able to secure her, she continued cooperating, being transported to site without issue. Class C amnestics were administered to the residents of, and all other outside claims of SCP-516's existence have been discredited. Efforts have been made to confiscate SCP-516-1, including physical removal by containment personnel and outfitting hand coverings, both of which have ultimately failed. Consistent sedation has been considered, but was denied by the Ethics Committee. Addendum: on December 1st, 2000, SCP-516 has been prescribed 100 milligrams of sertraline to help with symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder. Medication is to be taken once daily at 800 hours. Addendum number 2. SCP-516 is no longer contained as of the containment breach on May 1st, 2000. All other entities have been recovered, and the Foundation has dispatched appropriate mobile task forces to recontain her. Recovery is currently ongoing. Document number 516-0824. Recorded transcript of interview with SCP-516 at time of incarceration. Interviewer, Dr. Frost. Time, August 24th, 2000, 5:30 p.m. Dr. Frost. Good evening, SCP-516. My name is Dr. Frost, and I'd like to ask some questions about you tonight. SCP-516. SCP-516? My name is Dr. Frost. You were given the identification code of SCP-516 at the time of your incarceration, and as a formality, we will address you as such. SCP-516. Getting visibly emotional. Incarceration? Did I get arrested? Why? Why am I here? Dr. Frost. No, you were not arrested. You are being contained. You possess anomalous properties that could cause discourse within the general public. SCP-516 starts sobbing uncontrollably, her physical form reverting to her unaltered form. Dr. Frost. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to calm yourself and... A loud crash accompanied by a scream is heard. Immediately, Dr. Frost activates his emergency response device, and 2 armed guards immediately enter. One of the guards sedates SCP-516, rendering her temporarily unconscious in 2 minutes. Interview is postponed. In her hysteria, SCP-516 morphed her left arm into a bladed appendage and destroyed her chair, before falling to a heap on the floor and continuing to cry. Interviewer's note. She is definitely very emotionally unstable, but I do not believe she actually wishes to harm anyone. We shall have to choose our words more carefully in future interviews. Dr. Frost. Document number 516-0825. Recorded transcript of interview reattempt with SCP-516. Interviewer, Dr. Gibsons. Time, August 25th, 2000, 2:30 p.m. Dr. Gibsons. Good afternoon. How are you doing today? SCP-516. Okay, I guess. Dr. Gibsons. Well, that's better than yesterday, right? SCP-516. No response. Dr. Gibsons. Anyway, my name is Dr. Amanda Gibsons. I would like to ask you some questions so we can get to know you better. Is that okay? SCP-516. Okay. Dr. Gibsons. Great. Let's see here. Dr. Gibsons flips a few pages on a clipboard and takes out a pen. Okay. First question. What was your home life like? Give us a look into your past. From the beginning. SCP-516. I had 2 good parents, a couple of pets, and we lived in a small house together in... I went to school like any other kid. My childhood was pretty normal as far as I can remember. Dr. Gibsons. So your home life was good then? SCP-516. Yeah, my parents loved me, as naive as they were. Dr. Gibsons. Naive? SCP-516. They never had any idea of my issues, powers, or the things that led to me gaining them. Dr. Gibsons. That actually leads us to the next question. Can you try to describe when you first started experiencing your anomalous abilities? SCP-516. All my life, especially as a child, All I wanted was friends, and for people to like me. I seemed like the black sheep, the outcast, in all the schools I went to, and I never knew why. Drawing kept me sane, but it didn't completely get rid of the pain. After high school ended, I had the worst emotional breakdown in my life. I didn't have any friends to support me and guide me through the impending difficulties of adult life, and that fact came crashing down on me hard. As for my parents, they were too busy celebrating my graduation. It's very hard to recall exactly what happened during that breakdown. All I can remember is crying myself to sleep that night. Dr. Gibson's. It's okay, and that's completely normal. Just try to describe what happened next as best as you can. SCP-516. Well, that night I had a dream. It started with me floating in a black void. It was so dark, I couldn't see anything. Suddenly, I was falling at a high speed, landing painfully on the ground. As I tried to comfort my aching backside, I felt something slip out from underneath me. There was a black thing materializing in front of me. It grew and stood like 10 feet tall. It had a wicked smile, and its body had a bunch of jagged edges. Its mouth held rows of serrated teeth. I felt terrified, but I couldn't move no matter how badly I wanted to. He said in a deep, gravelly voice, "Greetings. It's good to see you tonight." I wanted to ask who he was, but I was too terrified to get the words out. "Who am I?" he said. "Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is who you are. An artist." He slithered around me like a snake, making me shiver in fear. "I've seen the stuff you've drawn. So cute, so beautiful, so impressive." He summoned a few of my past drawings as emphasis for each statement. "If only you could bring these drawings to life, maybe then people would finally like you." I asked him what he meant, and with a blinding blaze of fire, a pencil popped into existence. It floated down to me with a golden glow, practically singing to me to take it. The entire time, all I could express was confusion. He laughed at this, and then explained, "That is no ordinary pencil, darling. It is a magical artifact only for the greatest of artists. It never runs out, never breaks, and neither does the eraser. Its power is so great, anything you draw will jump off the page, or wall, or anything you want. You decide. You can alter the world and make it your own, and you don't even have to worry about losing it. Just picture it, and it will appear." My eyes started to light up at this gift, and I excitedly started coming up with ideas. Before I could ask what he wanted in return, I woke up. I recall feeling angry at myself for making me dream about something so amazing, only to have it not be real. That's when I noticed the perfectly sharpened pencil on the bed lying next to me. Dr. Gibson's. What happened next? SCP-516. I opened up my sketchbook and drew a cat, small and basic, just to see what would happen. When I finished drawing its curved tail, there was this feeling, telling me that I had to somehow pull it off the page. And so, I grabbed it by its tail and it started peeling off the page like a sticker. While it hung in my fingers, it blinked at me. I gasped and dropped it onto the floor, but it didn't seem to mind. It meowed at me and rubbed against my leg, purring like a real normal cat. I stared in shock as I realized the possibilities that were now open to me. After that happened, I grabbed one of my sketchbooks and went straight to the local park. I started drawing very small animals like birds and squirrels and releasing them into the world. Then I tried drawing some in odd colors, realizing that the number 2 pencil could also draw in whatever color I wanted it to. Eventually, someone came up to me while I was petting a green and yellow rabbit snuggled in my lap. He asked me where I got a rabbit like that, and I demonstrated. He stared at me in shock, and then called some of his buddies over to me. Before I knew it, there was a whole crowd of people surrounding me, and I was handing out living drawings like balloon animals. Dr. Gibson's. Wow, this is very interesting and very valuable information. Thank you. SCP-516. Oh, you're welcome. Dr. Gibson's. But now to the next question. Do you know where your graphite form comes from? It seems to emerge when you are upset. SCP-516. What that thing in my dream didn't tell me was that repeated use of the pencil on myself would cause my body to deteriorate. It took a while before anything started to happen. The tips of my fingers started to turn gray, but I thought that was from using them to blend in some of my artwork. But it didn't go away, and slowly started to spread every time I altered a part of myself. I just drew over it to cover it up, but underneath, it was getting worse. SCP-516 starts to cry. After about a year, I turned into this ugly, disgusting monster that I hide with the old appearance I had before all this started. Dr. Gibson's. I am sorry. Please try to stay calm. Do you need anything? Maybe some water? SCP-516 takes a shaky, deep breath and wipes away tears. I think I'll be okay. Thank you, though. Dr. Gibson's. Of course. That is all the questions I have for now. Thank you for your cooperation and for making this a successful interview. Maybe sometime soon, we'll ask for some demonstrations of your artistic skills. I know I'd like to see some. Test number 516-0915-001. Date, September 15th, 2000. Researcher, Dr. West. Prompt, draw an instance of Rattus norvegicus, brown rat. Result, using SCP-5161, SCP-516 completed the assignment in 1 minute and 36 seconds on one of the testing chamber walls. Once complete, she used her hand to pull the drawing off the wall by its tail, to which it sprung to life, causing SCP-516 to drop it in startled shock. The rat skittered about the containment chamber, exhibiting standard behavior. The rat was eventually captured and medically examined. The examination revealed that the rat had no internal organs or skeletal structure. When it was offered a single blueberry, the rat ate the fruit normally. However, the consumed fruit did not appear in any gastral scans. Test number 516-0915-002. Date, September 15th, 2000. Researcher, Dr. West. Prompt, draw an instance of Rattus norvegicus, brown rat, with a standard number 2 pencil. Result, using a standard number 2 pencil, SCP-516 completed the assignment in 2 minutes and 53 seconds on one of the testing chamber walls. SCP-516 displayed difficulty with drawing on the steel wall, reportedly having trouble with making the lines visible, but complied and continued when instructed to do her best. Drawing did not become animate. SCP-516 used the eraser on SCP-5161 to remove the drawing on the wall more easily. Test number 516-0915-003. Date, September 15th, 2000. Researcher, Dr. West. Prompt, draw an instance of a pepperoni and cheese pizza. Result, using SCP-5161, SCP-516 completed the assignment in 53 seconds on a small wooden table provided prior to the test. Once finished, D-Class number 3927 was sent inside the testing chamber and instructed to eat a slice of pizza. SCP-516 illustrated a plate and pulled a slice from the drawing, handing it to D-3927. D-3927 ate the slice with no ill effects, even commenting that the pizza was, quote, delicious. Gastral scans detected the pizza slice in D-3927's digestive system and was reportedly passed normally. D-3927 suffered no ill effects as a result of the consumption. Test number 516-0915-004. Date September 15th, 2000. Researcher Dr. West. Prompt: draw a T-shirt on D-Class number 1048. Result: D-1048 was sent inside the testing chamber where SCP-516 began drawing a standard, large-sized blue T-shirt over their arms and chest. The task was completed in 30 seconds. D-1048 reported that the shirt was comfortable and fit well. When instructed to remove the shirt, D-1048 did so with no complications. Test number 516-0915-005. Date September 15th, 2000. Researcher Dr. West. Prompt: allow D-Class 3364 to draw an instance of Rattus norvegicus, brown rat, using SCP-5161. Result: SCP-516 was reluctant to let someone else handle SCP-5161, but after gentle reassurance and promising its return, SCP-516 willingly gave SCP-5161 to D-3364. D-3364 was then instructed to draw an instance of Rattus norvegicus, brown rat, on a piece of paper provided prior to the test. Task was completed in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Drawing did not become animate. D-3364 was also instructed to attempt coloring the drawing brown, but was unsuccessful, only being able to color in the gray typical of a standard number 2 pencil. Test number 516-0916-001. Date September 16th, 2000. Researcher Dr. West. Prompt: draw something of SCP-516's personal choice. Result: after careful thought, SCP-516 used SCP-5161 to draw a sword resembling a serrated scimitar on the testing chamber floor, taking 10 minutes and 2 seconds to complete. Once finished, SCP Foundation guards were sent inside to remove the sword for testing and safety purposes. SCP-516 became distraught, proclaiming that she worked so hard on it, and reverted to her unaltered form. SCP-516 did not attempt to attack personnel, but was immediately sedated for safety precautions. When measured with an edge sharpness scale, ESS, the blade measured at 10 grams of pressure. Hardness was measured at 58 HRC. Note: Dr. West is to be reprimanded and reassigned for this irresponsible choice of action. Weapons illustrations are no longer permitted without the approval of Level 4 personnel or higher, and any made by SCP-516 are to be removed immediately. Site Director. Incident Report Number 516-A. Date of Occurrence: September 30th, 2000. Incident Description: after risk assessment by Foundation researchers assigned to SCP-516, it was concluded that SCP-5161 should be removed from SCP-516 for safety reasons. 3 armed Foundation guards, Agent Jackson, Agent Jones, and Agent Smith entered SCP-516's chamber, where she reportedly had been sketching various small animals. SCP-516 immediately questioned the reasoning for the guard's presence. After explanation, SCP-516 became agitated and reverted to her unaltered graphite form in the span of 4 seconds. She started to hyperventilate and threatened the guards, telling them to stay back. After carefully approaching her, SCP-516 tore through the protective gear of Agent Jackson with a clawed hand disproportionately large to the rest of her body. Agent Smith tried forcefully apprehending her before succumbing to multiple scratch and stab wounds. During the struggle, Agent Jones shot a tranquilizer dart into SCP-516's side. She succumbed to the dart's effects after 2 minutes, and Agent Jones was able to retrieve SCP-5161. SCP-5161 was placed in a sealed glass container and reserved for testing. Once SCP-516 regained consciousness 20 minutes later, she summoned SCP-5161 above the middle of her palm. It was reported that SCP-5161 disappeared from its container at this time. SCP-516 then used SCP-5161 to draw a full-body mirror on a wall and redraw her common appearance, taking about 15 minutes to complete. Once finished, SCP-516 dissipated SCP-5161 out of view. Incident Report Number 516-B. Date of Occurrence: October 21st, 2000. Incident Description: Foundation researchers sedated SCP-516 before outfitting her with a pair of Mackenzie Mitts handcuffs. When SCP-516 regained consciousness 20 minutes later, she was informed over intercom that the restraints were temporary and were being used for an experiment. Regardless, SCP-516 became emotionally unstable and reverted to her unaltered state. Due to the fluidity of her natural form, she was able to easily slip out of the handcuffs, morphing her right arm into a hammer and smashing them, rendering them completely flat and unusable. Incident Report Number 516-C. Date of Occurrence: May 1st, 2000. Incident Description: SCP-516 breached containment. Cause of the breach is still unknown, though cooperation with SCP is suspected. Mobile Task Force Gamma-5 and Mobile Task Force Omega-45 has been dispatched and is currently making efforts to recover her.